G'day headbangers and welcome to Dozer's Metalworks. Welcome back my fellow metalheads to another edition of Dozer's Metalworks. Yes, it's my birthday. Well, technically it's my birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to me, but that's enough of that. So, as usual, on my birthday, I always do some Dozers Vault. So I'm going to do 3 things this week. 2 albums and 2 movies, I guess. So I'm going to start off, as you can see, with my second favourite Judas Priest album, Turbo. Now, as you can see here, I actually have the Turbo 30 vinyl. And obviously the remastered version of the CD. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to go with Wikipedia today because I haven't written anything down. So Turbo, cover art was done by Doug Johnson. Now I think he also did Stream of Vengeance and Defenders of the Faith. Released 7th of April 1986. Total length is 40 minutes and 58 seconds. The singles they released were Turbo Lover, which is my second favourite Judas Priest song, absolutely love it. Pretty funky video clip as well. The other singles were Locked In and Parental Guidance. Remastered CD was released in 2011, which I think that one obviously is. Look, the track listing was number 1, Turbo Lover, number 2, Locked In, number 3, Private Property, number 4, Parental Guidance, number 5, Rock You All Around the World, number 6, Out in the Cold, 7, Wild Nights, Hot Crazy Days, number 8, Hot for Love, and number 9 was Reckless. And the 2001 CD edition bonus is All Fired Up, recorded during the 1985 Turbo sessions, and Locked In live at Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri, recorded in May 1986. And obviously there's other stuff on top of that. When they did a thing called Twin Turbos, which was a special double album that released, which was just all extra tracks they released on other things. But yeah, look, the personnel on that album was Rob Halford, of course, on vocals, KK Downey and Glenn Tipton on guitars, Ian Hill on bass, and Dave Holland on drums. Yeah, look, this was classed, a lot of people said this was their hair metal album. I tell them to stop smoking drugs. It's not a hair metal album at all. Yeah, they've got hair. Rob Halford still had hair at this stage. But look, I love Turbo. It's great. It's an underrated album. And as I said, Turbo Lover is an absolute banger of a track. Absolutely love it. But yeah, this is this week's the first induction for this week. So we'll get on to the next one. Yes, and the second one I'm inducting this week, boys and girls, is Master of Puppets by Metallica. Yes, an absolute banger of an album here. It was released in March 3rd, 1986. Total running time of 54 minutes and 52 seconds. The only single they released from it was Master of Puppets, funny enough. But they did release pictures for Damage Inc., which was kind of weird. So that's kind of weird. Anyway, moving along, we have the track listing, which is number 1, Battery, number 2, Master of Puppets, number 3, The Thing That Should Not Be, number 4, Welcome Home Sanitarium, number 5, Disposable Heroes, number 6, Leper Messiah, number 7, Orion, their freaking brilliant instrumental, and Damage Inc. at number 8, rounding it off. And the bonus tracks in the reissue was Battery and The Thing That Should Not Be, both live tracks. Now, as you all know, this was the last studio album featuring Mr. Cliff Burton on bass, and we all know that he died tragically in a bus accident when they were on tour, which was a great loss to the band. me and my mates who always love Metallica say, well, what would happen if Cliff was still with the band? You know? But yeah, it's a shame. This is a whole great album. What can I say about it? But yeah, so that's this album inducted onto Dozer's Vault. And remember, I've got Dozer's Vault on Spotify. So look at it, listen to it. I've actually been listening to it quite a lot recently. Yeah, because all my favourite albums. Now, with Dozer's Vault, I want to explain again that it's all albums that I love with a passion, that Mandy always refers to as a fallback album. So yeah, if I get bored, I'll go back and just listen to most of these albums because they're just fantastic and great. And yeah, there'll be heaps and heaps of albums I'll always be adding onto Dozer's Vault, whether, you know, they're fast and heavy, or even just rock, you know. There's a couple of rock albums that I'll be putting in there that obviously aren't heavy metal, but I still love with a passion because they're brilliant. But yeah, anyway, that's these two albums inducted. Now for the movies. All right, my friends. Now for the third induction. Megan, both 1 and 2. Basic premise of Megan. In the first movie, you have a woman who works for a toy company, and they make things, I suppose, a modern day thing would be like Furbies, you know, real high market ones that can talk and all that kind of stuff. And they're losing out to another company who are bringing the same product out for cheaper. Anyway, her niece, she gets in custody of her niece when her sister and brother-in-law die in a car accident. So she gets the niece, and she ends up making this robot called Megan, who primary thing to start with is to protect the child and look after her. And basically she gets a bit overprotective, gets a bit psycho, goes on a bit of a murdering rampage. But like I've said to a lot of people, I want my own Megan. To have a protective robot like that who will basically fuck you up if you piss them off or interfere with their charge, then yeah. And that the original Megan was released in 2022. Now, one thing I did like about it is when Megan is sitting down, it's still animatronics. But when it's actually walking around and stuff like that, it's an actual young, I think she was a Kiwi actress, young girl who's a gymnast who did some amazing stunt work on herself. But Megan's voice is actually voiced by someone else. But look, I absolutely love the first movie, fantastic. And there's things that happened in the first one that carry over to Megan 2.0. Whereas a guy who was working for the company in Megan was stealing the secrets about Megan and handing it off to another third party. And that's where number 2 comes in, and they have another robot that comes in. And yeah, basically that one goes psycho as well. Then they put Megan in a new body, and she goes and helps, and it sort of like always becomes pretty much becomes a good guy at the end of it anyway. But look, I love these movies both. They're both brilliant. Unfortunately, from what I've heard, Megan 2.0 didn't do as well as they were hoping, so there's not going to be a number 3. So I went, God damn it. But yeah, look, I love both movies. I've got both Blu-ray DVDs. I've got the Funko Pop. Part of me wants to get a shirt and even a poster because I love them, especially the first movie that much. But yeah, I'm inducting these two freaking awesome movies into Dozer's Vault. And being my birthday, I make watch Rex movies that he wouldn't usually watch. So guess what he's watching today, boys and girls? That's right, he's watching Megan. And if we can find it, probably Beekeeper as well, because Beekeeper's freaking, it's awesome. So anyway, the next thing, now in memoriam this week, boys and girls, all I can say is holy shitball. Look, I had a wrestling show last week in Braidwood, so you know this is probably covering a good couple of weeks of people who have kicked the bucket. So we'll start off with Jamie Dunn. Now, if you're an Aussie, especially the age of Rex and I, even though Rex is probably about 12 years younger than me, he still knows who he is. Jamie Dunn was the voice and hand of behind Aggro, the talking Bathman, as it was known as. He was an Australian staple for all young kids in Australia back in the 80s and 90s. Jamie passed away suddenly. I don't know why he passed away, but God damn, it was a loss for a lot of us. Well, old people now, but yeah. So that was number one. Number two is probably not as much well known. Her name is Jennifer Runton. Now, if you've seen the original Ghostbusters movie, at the beginning of it, where Venkman's dealing with the two students, she's the female student. But she did go and do other things as well, but I remember mostly from that, so she was gone. Now, for the big one in World of Metal, oh my God, well this guy carked it, bloody hell, that's almost all the band gone, I think. Phil Campbell, the guitarist, if I'm not mistaken, from Motorhead, or one of them from Motorhead, and I went, bloody hell, at least he's joining Lemmy up there. So yeah, he went as well in the past week or so, and went, God damn it, for him as well. That scene has been a busy one for people freaking kicking the bucket. Now, of course, I woke up this morning, my friends, to find out that the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chuck Norris, has passed away. I went, bloody hell, that's a big one. I've seen in the Delta Force movies, Missing in Action movies. You know, I didn't really watch him in Walker, Texas Ranger, but we all know how awesome Chuck Norris was, especially in the second Expendables movie. So another that's a shock for a lot of us. I don't know how he died, but you know, he was a freaking legend. This dude who thought he was immortal. You know, anyway. And the one literally within the past half an hour, as I was talking to Rex, this one was a shock, another big shock. But probably not surprising to a degree from the stuff he's been going through the past 5 to 10 years, I guess. Nicholas Brendan has passed away, my friends. Now, he was in Criminal Minds for a short amount of time. But for all you geeks out there, like myself, he played Xander in Buffy the Vampire Slayer for all 8 seasons, or whatever, how many seasons they did. Yeah, this one literally just happened like within freaking half an hour or so I got the news, and it's like, holy shit. Had to ring up Mandy, because she was a huge Buffy fan. So that's 2 Buffy alumni who's now Gonskis in the past year, so it's kind of shit house. But yeah, anyway, my friends, that's this week's edition of Dozer's Metalworks, and looking forward to you guys getting into more Dozer's Vault, and get a chance, watch these 2 freaking awesome movies. And until next week, well, a couple of weeks actually, got a show again next weekend. Mosh on.